Productive Through Joy show with your host and your boy, Dr. Michael Datcher. This show airs each weekday morning, hella early AF at 4:45 a.m. here on YouTube's Michael Datcher channel, and then at 4:45 p.m. On Facebook Live this afternoon. Today we're talking about culture. What is the connection between culture and productivity? Knowing your culture, knowing your cultural history. How can that particular epistemological terrain help you become more productive? So we have a really interesting, non-traditional show planned today, so thanks for being here. Again, this is your host and your boy. If you are new, this show again airs each weekday morning, hella early at 4:45 a.m. and 4:45 p.m. Allow me to say a few words about myself, but first hit that subscribe button, get all these videos for free. I did say free, 1, 2, 3, 4, free. And you can also go to productivethroughjoy.com to see about us. We speak to groups, schools, and organizations about being productive through joy. We also have a really powerful, individualized series of sessions as well. Our approach is a narrative approach, meaning we know that everyone's life up until this point has told a story. Everyone's life is currently telling a story, and everyone's life is going to tell a story. And so we help people think about the story they've told. How can they begin to reshape the story they want to tell about their lives based upon how they live their lives? So it's a really interesting approach, and I think you would find great value in it. So reach out to us. Go to productivethroughjoy.com. We also have a really powerful, much more written, writerly service called The Master Memoir for folks who are looking to really tell the story in print. So anyway, look for that. I should also say that I am the author of Americas, the historical novel set 13 miles from Ferguson. That book interrogates the intersection of race and violence in America. I am also the author of Raising Fences, which was a Today Show Book of the Month pick. That book's film rights were optioned by the actor Will Smith, whose people called My People. And I eventually agreed to write the screenplay for that particular project. I'm also the author of the forthcoming nonfiction work, Animating Black and Brown Liberation, A Theory of American Literatures. That book will be out in April, which, well, it's next month. That's pretty soon. So I'll be on the tour. That book examines the connection between activism and literature. So I'm sure I'm going to be coming to a town near you on the book tours. I'm on the book tour now for Americas, and I'll be on the book tour for Animating Black and Brown Liberation starting in April. So I'll be at the World Stage April 10th. I'll be at the Pasadena Lit Fest May 19th, and a bunch of other dates as they fill in and get confirmed in the next 3-4 months up into the end of the year. So look for me coming to your town. I'm also the board president of the World Stage, a great 501c3 nonprofit, literary and jazz nonprofit. My educational background is UC Berkeley as an undergraduate. My master's is from UCLA, and my PhD in English literature is from the University of California at Riverside. I am currently a professor of English lit at LMU here in Los Angeles. Guys, I'm an expert at being productive, right? I don't say that to brag or boast, but people are oftentimes surprised at my level of productivity, given how crazy my own personal narrative is. I am the product of a young girl who was assaulted, a terrible story at age 16, gave birth to me at 17, subsequently gave me up for adoption to a single divorcee who was amazing, yet at the time, no biological father, no adopted father. Listen, difficult times for the young MD. Yet, as Kool Moe famously said, how you like me now? Right? If I can be this productive and be so through joy, we know that many of us watching the show can similarly be productive, and that really inspires. Our show inspires me personally, frankly. We like to help people help themselves. That's what we do. And those who've come from difficulty, as many of us have, when we can make it and have success, it just leavens the community. It gives people a sense of hope. If that fool can make it, it can be done by anybody. That's kind of like that, which doesn't really sound like a kind of a compliment, but it's a practical reality. When people just see one of the people in their neighborhood who can overcome extraordinary challenge, they think, well, maybe I can do it. If that dude can do it, So we know that is a real thing, and we like to offer inspiration whenever possible. So thanks for being here, guys. Let's dive in. So today we're talking, guys, about culture and productivity. Let's dive into the topic. So point one is that you want to know yourself. We talked about this a couple of days ago. The ancient Egyptian, we call it, well, Kim, they call themselves, they call it the land Kemet, K, which is, there's no vowels in that language, but KMT, but we use the E's as placeholders of the A's. So Kemet or Kemet, they call themselves the people, the black people. They call Kemet the land of the blacks. They call themselves Kamal, the black people. But they believe that it was imperative that one know thyself, know oneself, which is really important. And they believe that because God is everywhere, that means that God has got to be has to also be inside of you. So part of a person's mission and purpose is to know the God inside themselves. So know thyself basically meant know your own divinity. That's a short version of a whole bunch of books. But in that, I am saying that you want to know your culture, because a part of knowing yourself is knowing where you come from, who your people are, what your culture is, right? So in the West, which is really this terrible thing. So the Middle East is a political term, and I'm sure you know this history, but even in the modern context, Egyptologists or folks who are called Orientalists, they try to make the claim that Africans, Egyptians, Egypt is in Africa, and their roots are in sub-Saharan Africa. They try to make the claim that Egyptians are white people. Think about how crazy that is, right? It just shows how history is so political. History is so political. And the point is that there's such an extraordinary history in Egypt and all throughout Africa that the powers that be who tie themselves to white supremacy do not want to ascribe the power and the genius of African culture as made by the African Egyptians to black people. It's really sad, but very destructive as well. So people claim, think about this, that the Egyptians, that the pyramids, for example, were made by aliens. Like, people actually believe that because they don't want to ascribe the genius of engineering and mathematics to to black people. Whew. Anyway, so you want to be able to know your culture, because many people who are African American think that history begins with slavery for African Americans. No, as we know from modern archaeology and science, that life itself began in the plains of Africa, near Kenya and near, Lake Victoria, Kenya, Somalia region, which is modern day Kenya, Somalia. That means that, and from those original people, those oldest bones, and they've been trying to find bones like in Ireland and England for a long time. Bones older than ones in Africa, because life itself began in Africa. That means that black people are the original people of the earth. We are the chosen people, of course. If God chose to start life with black people, we are the chosen people, obviously. And so life began with black people. Then everyone else, of course, are tied to us. The point is that should be taught. That's just science. That's just history. But that history is not really widely disseminated. It's just not. So when you know that history, it gives you a sense of power. So that's point one. As you begin to know your history and you accrue that power, you don't want to just accrue the power for yourself. You want to then use that power to do good for the people who you represent. So as an African American, I'm committed to helping all people, of course, but my focus is on black folk because we are in the greatest need from my perspective, which goes right into point three. As you begin to meet the needs of folks in need by helping them help themselves, everyone benefits, all boats rise, because that's just how it goes. And boom, goes the dynamite. Thanks for being here. We're here each weekday morning, hella early, at 4:45 a.m. here on YouTube's Michael Datcher channel, and 4:45 p.m. on Facebook Live. Thanks for being here, guys. We love and respect you. We'll see you this afternoon for the last show of the week. Again, go to productivethroughjoy.com. See about us. We speak to groups, schools, and organizations. Deuces.